Hello students, welcome to the part 1 of our next chapter, pressure in fluids. Today we are going to discuss about the pressure in the fluids. We already know fluids are the substances which have the tendency to flow. Liquids and gases, they fall into this category. So in this chapter we are only going to concentrate especially in case of pressure in the liquids. First few basic definitions. First is a thrust. Here you can see that a force is acting on a horizontal surface at right angle. This force which acts at right angle or perpendicular to the surface or normal to the surface, we call this force as the thrust. So if a force acts at an angle on a given surface, we will not call that as thrust, we will simply call it as a force. Thrust is only that force which acts at right angle to the surface. In SI unit, it is measured in the unit of 1 Newton. In the gravitational unit, it is measured as in the unit of 1 kilogram force or 1 kgf, and both are connected with the conversion relation, that is 1 kgf is equal to 9.8 Newton. In CGS unit, force is measured in the unit of 1 dyne. Gravitational unit is 1 gram force or 1 gf, and both are related to each other with the relation 1 gram force is equal to 980 dyne. First, we talk about pressure in solids. Pressure exerted by the solid objects. Here we have a cylindrical body having area of cross section A, that is area of the top and the bottom part is same. This cylindrical body applies a force onto a horizontal surface in the downward direction. Now cylindrical body is in contact with the lower body only in the surface area, which is the area of cross section indicated by the red portion of the cylindrical body. Force is not acting on the total green area of the lower surface. So in this case, thrust acting on a given surface area, we call it as the pressure. This definition of pressure, which is thrust acting on a given surface area, is valid only for the pressure exerted by the solids. So pressure is thrust divided by the surface area on which the given thrust is acting. That is, pressure is F over A, which it is a scalar quantity, and in SI system it is measured in the unit of 1 Newton per meter square, because force is having unit 1 Newton, area is having unit 1 meter square. So its SI unit is 1 Newton per meter square, which is also known as 1 Pascal. In CGS system, unit is 1 dyne per centimeter square. In the gravitational unit, the unit used is 1 kilogram force per meter square, which is equal to 10 Pascal. For metrological purposes, the unit of pressure used is 1 bar, which is equal to 10 raised to power 5 Pascal. Why a solid exerts a pressure? A solid exerts a pressure because of its weight. So obviously, when it is present on the top of an object, only that object will be able to experience its pressure. And the magnitude of the pressure, it depends upon the surface area on which the weight is being applied. So if we are able to change the surface area on which the weight is acting, then we can increase or decrease the pressure. For example, by increasing the surface area, pressure can be decreased. Few examples are: wooden sleepers are present underneath railway tracks. You must have seen that below the railway tracks, wooden or the concrete sleepers are present, because when rail engine or the bogies are moving over the railway tracks, which are made up of the metal, and huge amount of force is applied on the railway tracks, because railway track is very thin, has a very small surface area. So if wooden sleepers are not present below it, then they will yield inside the ground, leading to an accident. So in order to avoid this, wooden sleepers are present below the railway tracks, which increases the surface area, due to which pressure decreases. Heavy vehicles have the large tire base for the same reason. And similarly, when we try to run or walk on sand barefoot, it is difficult. But when we try to do with the help of shoes having larger base area, then it becomes quite easily. You might have studied in the lower classes also, camels can run quite easily on the sand because their foot area is greater than that of human beings. Similarly, by decreasing the surface area, pressure can be increased. For example, all the knives and the scissors, they have very sharp edges, very small surface area. So pressure can be increased. Nails or the paper pins have pointed tips, again to increase the pressure so that they can easily penetrate. Cutting tools, all cutting tools have very small surface area so that their cutting effects can be increased by increasing the pressure. So we saw that pressure depends inversely on the surface area on which the force is being applied. So by changing the surface area, we can change the magnitude of the pressure, but only in case of solids. So a solid itself exerts its pressure on another surface on which it is present only because of its weight, which is always acting vertically downward direction. Because solid cannot apply its weight sidewise or in the upward direction, so a solid cannot apply any lateral pressure. It can only apply pressure in downward direction. Now come to pressure in fluids. A fluid like gas or liquid also has weight, so it can also apply pressure on the base of the container in which it is present. But not only this, it can also apply lateral pressure. That means it can apply pressure on the walls of the container, which is not possible for the solid objects. So a fluid can exert pressure at all the points in all the direction in a vessel if it is filled completely. For example, you can demonstrate it by completely filling a bottle with water and making holes at the different heights with respect to its bottom. You will see water will tend to run out on through all the holes, which clearly indicates that pressure is exerted not only at the bottom of the bottle but also on its sides. So it also exerts lateral pressure. So in case of fluids, we define the pressure as thrust acting per unit area at any point of the fluid. So remember, for fluid pressure, it is defined as the thrust acting per unit area at any point of the fluid. In case of solid, we use the word given because by changing the surface area, we can increase or decrease the fluid solid pressure. But same thing is not true for pressure in fluids. The fluid pressure is independent of the surface area. That's why we are defining it as thrust acting per unit area at any point of the fluid. That means if you select any unit area, any 1 centimeter square area or any 1 meter square area, anywhere inside the vessel which is containing a certain amount of fluid, the pressure in all the points, all the area will be same. So fluid pressure is also acting on the sides of the vessel, which is called as lateral pressure, and the one which is acting at the base of the vessel is simply known as the fluid pressure. What is the reason for this? That why it not only exerts pressure at the bottom but also on the sides. We know that a fluid contains large number of molecules. So here we have a sealed container in which few molecules are present. If we consider that these molecules in a sealed container at room temperature, then they all are in the state of continuous random motion. That means they will be moving randomly in all possible directions and they all will be moving with different velocities. During such random motion, they collide with each other as well as with the walls of the container. So as they collide with the walls of the container or with each other, they change each other's velocity. So when they collide with walls, we have to consider only those collisions which are taking place between the wall of the container and these molecules. When these collisions are considered, they apply a momentum to the walls. What is momentum? You might have experienced that if somebody throws a cricket ball with a very fast speed towards you, while catching those balls, sometimes our hands get hurt. This thing indicates whenever any object in motion collides with some other object, it has tendency to apply a certain amount of force onto the other object. This property of the body, by which a moving body is able to apply force on the other objects, we call it as the momentum. So whenever these molecules, moving molecules, they collide with the walls of container, they apply huge amount of forces on the wall of the container. Now, because the molecular motion is totally random, arbitrary direction, and possibly taking with velocities which are ranging from 0 to very large value. Due to this, the number of molecules striking in any unit area is same. That means if you select any 1 centimeter square or 1 meter square area anywhere on the wall of the sealed container, in 1 second interval, the number of molecules that will be hitting the wall in that particular area will be same. So they will be transferring their momentum, they will be applying their forces onto the wall of the container. Because different molecules, they are moving with different speeds, so the momentum or the force they will apply on the wall of the container will also be different. So we call, or we find what we call as the average force per unit area on the wall, which is known as the fluid pressure. So if we take the average value of that force applied by all those molecules hitting in 1 second on a unit surface area of the wall of the container, we call that average force per unit area as the fluid pressure. Because number of molecules striking the unit area, surface area of the container wall is same. In this case, the average force becomes same, so average force per unit area, which is the fluid pressure, it also becomes same. That's why fluid pressure at any given point is same in all the directions. Thus, because fluids have molecules moving randomly, and due to their collision, they not only apply the force onto the bottom of the container but also onto the side walls, which is not possible for the solid objects because their molecules cannot move. Expression for fluid pressure. Suppose we have a cylindrical vessel which is filled with a liquid. This is the free surface of the liquid. The base of the container is present at h depth below the free surface of liquid. Area of cross section of the container is small a. Density of liquid is rho. We have already seen that pressure is thrust per unit area, and in this case the pressure acting at the bottom or the base of the container is due to the weight of the container. Weight is given by mass of liquid multiplied by acceleration due to gravity, which can further be written as V rho into G divided by A, because mass is equal to product of volume into density. Further, the volume of the liquid present inside the container can be written as the area of cross section multiplied by the depth. So A and A get cancelled, so pressure becomes equal to H rho G. So expression for fluid pressure is equal to product of depth of the liquid below the free surface multiplied by density of liquid multiplied by acceleration due to gravity. So fluid pressure depends directly on the depth below the free surface of liquid, density of the liquid, and acceleration due to gravity. Fluid pressure does not depend upon area of cross section. And total pressure at the base of the container will be atmospheric pressure plus fluid pressure. So atmosphere is also exerting its pressure on the top of the free surface of the liquid or at the bottom of the container along with the fluid pressure. So total pressure will be sum of atmospheric pressure and fluid pressure. So next time we will meet with the laws of liquid pressure and their verification.